Okay class. Today is a movie day. You guys can bring rated G or rated PG, and we will watch these movies that are rated G and rated PG, as long if does not have been rated PG, -13, R, or NC-17. If you bring a movie that rates PG, -13, you give a warning. If you bring a movie that rates R, you be either have detention, or be suspended, and if you bring a movie that rates NC-17, you will be expelled forever, and you will be in big trouble. Okay, first up is Arnold Shortman.
I brought the Wizard of Oz movie.
Good job Arnold. This movie, The Wizard of Oz, is rated G, and it was released in the 25th of August 1939. Next up is Cosmo Fairy Winkle.
I brought Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Good job Cosmo. This movie, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, is rated G, and it was released in the 30th of June 1971. Next up is Gerald Johansen.
I brought Beauty and the Beast.
Good job Gerald. This movie, Beauty and the Beast, is rated G, and it was released in the 22nd of November 1991. Next up is Dora the Explorer.
I brought Romeo and Juliet.
Good job Dora. This movie, Romeo and Juliet, is rated G, and it was released in the 2nd of February 2011. Next up is Coop Burtonbury.
I brought Toy Story 2.
Good job Coop. This movie, Toy Story 2, is rated G, and it was released in the 13th of November 1999. Next up is Jacob Harrington.
I brought The Lion King.
Good job Jacob Harrington. This movie, The Lion King, is rated G, and it was released in the 24th of June 1994. Next up is Emma Scarlett Lovelos.
I brought Horton Hears a Who.
Good job Emma Scarlett Lovelos. This movie, Horton Hears a Who, is rated G, and it was released in the 14th of March 2008. Next up is Timmy Turner.
I brought Cinderella.
Good job Timmy Turner. This movie, Cinderella, is rated G, and it was released in the 4th of March 1950. You deserve it for granting Cosmo, Vyonder, and Poof's wishes. Next up is Nice Nancy.
I brought Alice in Wonderland.
Good job Nancy. This movie, Alice in Wonderland, is rated G, and it was released in the 14th of September 1951. Next up is Brilliant Barry.
I brought Toy Story.
Good job Barry. This movie, Toy Story, is rated G, and it was released in the 24th of November 1995. Next up is Bobby.
I brought Finding Nemo.
Good job Bobby. This movie, Finding Nemo, is rated G, and it was released in the 30th of May 2003. Next up is Sit Chang.
I brought Aladdin.
Good job Sid. This movie, Aladdin, is rated G, and it was released in the 25th of November 1992. Next up is Rosie.
I brought Monster Incorporated. They are so cool.
Good job Rosie. This movie, Monster Incorporated, is rated G, and it was released in the 2nd of February 2001. Next up is Princess Peach.
I brought The Little Mermaid.
Good job Princess Peach. This movie, The Little Mermaid, is rated G, and it was released in the 17th of November 1989. Next up is Princess Helday.
I brought Mary Poppins. Mary Poppins was pretty though.
Good job Princess Helday. This movie, Mary Poppins, is rated G, and it was released in the 18th of June 1965. Next up is Princess Daisy.
I brought Toy Story 3.
Good job Princess Daisy. This movie, Toy Story 3, is rated G, and it was released in the 18th of June 2010. Next up is Mario.
I brought Cars movie.
Good job Mario. This movie, Cars, is rated G, and it was released in the 9th of June 2006. Next up is Wanda.
I brought Sleeping Beauty.
Good job Wanda. This movie, Sleeping Beauty, is rated G, and it was released in the 12th of June 1987. Next up is Luigi.
I brought Jungle Book 2.
Good job Luigi. This movie, The Jungle Book 2, is rated G, and it was released in the 14th of February 2003. Next up is Yoshi.
I brought Alice's Adventures in Wonderland.
Good job Yoshi. This movie, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, is rated G, and it was released in the 20th of November 1972. Next up is Prince Arnold.
I brought Peter Pan.
Good job Prince Arnold. This movie, Peter Pan is rated G, and it was released in the 25th of December 2003. Next up is Vittario that Vyonder.
I brought Where the Wild Things Are.
Good job Vittario that Vyonder. This movie, Where the Wild Things Are, is rated PG, and it was released in the 16th of October 2009. Next up is Interlister 2020.
I brought The Incredibles.
Good job Interlister 2020. This movie, The Incredibles, is rated PG, and it was released in the 5th of November 2004. Next up is Weepy William.
I brought Up.
Good job William. This movie, Up, is rated PG, and it was released in the 29th of May 2009. Next up is Johnny Test.
I brought Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Good job Johnny. This movie, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, is rated PG, and it was released in the 22nd of June 1998. Next up is African Vulture.
I brought Jumanji.
Good job African Vulture. This movie, Jumanji, is rated PG, and it was released in the 15th of December 1995. Next up is Koilu.
I brought Hocus Pocus.
Good job Koilu. This movie, Hocus Pocus, is rated PG, and it was released in the 16th of July 1993. Next up is Stephanie Gavin.
I brought How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Good job Stephanie. This movie, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, is rated PG, and it was released in the 17th of November 2000. Next up is Cowardly Chad.
I brought Home Alone.
Good job Chad. This movie, Home Alone, is rated PG, and it was released in the 16th of May 1990. Next up is Carlos and Sherry.
We brought Captain Underpants, the first epic movie.
Good job Carlos and Sherry. This movie, Captain Underpants, the first epic movie, is rated PG, and it was released in the 2nd of June 2017. Next up is Althea Andrea.
I brought Sherlock.
Good job Althea Andrea. This movie, Sherlock, is rated PG, and it was released in the 18th of May 2001. Next up is Phoebe.
I brought The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Good job Phoebe. This movie, The Nightmare Before Christmas, is rated PG, and it was released in the 29th of October 1993. Next up is Princess Rosalina.
I brought Shrek 2.
Good job Princess Rosalina. This movie, Shrek 2, is rated PG, and it was released in the 19th of May 2004. Next up is Aisha, also known as Layla.
I brought Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Good job Aisha, also known as Layla. This movie, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, is rated PG, and it was released in the 30th of March 1990. Next up is Berta.
I brought Shark Tale.
Good job Berta. This movie, Shark Tale, is rated PG, and it was released in the 1st of October 2004. Next up is Helge Pataki.
I brought Spider-Man 2.
Excuse me Helge. This movie, Spider-Man 2, is rated PG-13, and it was released in the 30th of June 2004. I advise you to not bring that movie again. Next up is Clyde.
I brought Zombieland.
What? Clyde. This movie, Zombieland, is rated R, and it was released in the 10th of October 2009. You had detention. Next up is Ken Robinson. Go to detention now Clyde.
I brought it.
Ken Robinson. This movie, It, is rated R, and it was released in the 8th of September 2017. You had detention. Next up is Classic Koilu. Go to detention now Ken Robinson.
I brought The History of the World Part 1.
Classic Koilu. This movie, The History of the World Part 1, is rated R, and it was released in the 12th of June 1981. You had detention. Next up is Classic William. Go to detention now Classic Koilu.
I brought American Pie.
Classic William. This movie, American Pie, is rated R, and it was released in the 9th of July 1999. You had detention. Next up is Classic Bobby. Go to detention now Classic William.
I brought Scary Movie.
Classic Bobby. This movie, Scary Movie, is rated R, and it was released in the 7th of July 2000. You had detention. Next up is Classic Dora. Go to detention now Classic Bobby.
I brought Our Stupid Brother.
Classic Dora. This movie, Our Stupid Brother, is rated R, and it was released in the 26th of August 2011. You had detention. Next up is Classic Rosie. Go to detention now Classic Dora.
I brought 50-50.
Classic Rosie. This movie, 5050, is rated R, and it was released in the 30th of September 2011. You had detention. Next up is Classic Stephanie. Go to detention now, Classic Rosie.
I brought National Lampoon's Vacation.
Classic Stephanie. This movie, National Lampoon's Vacation, is rated R, and it was released in the 29th of July 1983. You had detention. Because you got Stephanie Gavin expelled and then grounded. That's not okay. Go to detention now, Classic Stephanie. Okay class, we're almost done. Let's finish off with the suspension, with the final one being the expulsion. Next up is Vyonder.
I brought 9½ weeks.
Really, Vyonder? This movie, 9½ weeks, is rated R, and it was released in the 21st of February 1986. You're suspended. Next up is Shadow Kailu. Go home right now.
I knows. It looks like I bought Asylum.
Seriously, Shadow Kailu. This movie, Asylum, is rated R, and it was released in the 22nd of September 1985. You're suspended. Next up is Ghost Bride Helge. Go home right now.
I brought Deadpool.
Are you kidding me, Ghost Bride Helge? This movie, Deadpool, is rated R, and it was released in the 12th of February 2016. You're suspended. Because you tried to capture Coop so you can chop down his body with your axe. That's not okay. Next up is Anti-Kesmo. Go home right now.
I brought Deadpool 2.
Oh my god, Anti-Kesmo. This movie, Deadpool 2, is rated R, and it was released in the 10th of May 2018. You tried to get your normal counterpart into trouble. That's not okay. You're suspended. Next up is Shadow King Jeff. Go home right now. Oh no 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 number, I brought Tarzan, Shame of the Jungle. Why Shadow King Jeff? This movie, Tarzan, Shame of the Jungle, is rated R, and it was released in the 19th of September 1979. You trapped Arnold Shortman, Jacob Harrington, and Carlos down into your dungeon and scared Chat, William, and Prince Arnold. That's not okay. You're suspended. Last, but not least is Dominik Mysterio. Go home right now.
I brought Arabian Night.
Dominik Mysterio. That movie, Arabian Night, is rated NC-17, and it was released from June 20th, 1974. That is it. You are expelled. Go home right.
Are you serious, Dominik Mysterio? You are making me angry that I could scream.
I cannot believe you bring a rated NC-17 movie to school. You know that they're not supposed to watch rated NC-17 movies unless you're an adult. Not even school. That's it. You're grounded, 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 grounded for 1 sextillion 169 quindecillion 915 quatuordecillion 194 tridecillion 503 duodecillion 594 undecillion 773 decillion 666 nonillion 520 octillion 748 septillion 781 sextillion 338 quintillion 339 quadrillion 58 trillion 755 billion 444,097,374 Planck times, or 2 years. Go to your room right now.